Anger is a secondary emotion. So there's a primary emotion that's behind the anger. It could be something like fear, pain, or sadness. So the key is to get to the primary emotion and to heal that so we don't have anger. Now, I grew up as a kid that developed anger issues. During my childhood, I was basically physically and emotionally abandoned by my dad, and I was emotionally abandoned by my mum. So I wasn't taught about how to deal with my emotions. I wasn't taught that it was okay for me to express them. I didn't have that safe place or that adult that, was there helping me deal with my emotions. So what ended up happening is I bottled everything up throughout my childhood. When you bottle things up, eventually you're going to explode, right? There's only so much you can bottle up before it starts coming out in other ways. That's what happened to me. By the age of around 11 and 12, the preteen age, I started developing anger issues caused by all the emotions I had bottled up throughout childhood. As I got older, my anger issues got worse, and it got to the point where, some people would call me a psycho. I was very short-tempered. It didn't take much to set me off. And so I had to take a look at my anger, and I had to work with that, because I got to the point where I didn't want to be that angry person anymore, that short-tempered, that just it doesn't take much to set you off. You know what I mean? So I just made the choice. I wanted to heal this anger issue that I had. And I have. That's why I wanted to make this video, to share with you what I did to heal my anger issue in the hopes that it will help someone else. So in this video, I'm going to share with you 6 ways to heal your anger issues. So the first way is you have to acknowledge you have a problem. That's always going to be the first step, is acknowledging the problem. There are some people that have anger issues and they have this attitude of like, well, I had a hard childhood. You don't know what it was like growing up. This is just how I am and people should just have to deal with it. No one has to put up with your anger issues. So you have to acknowledge you've got the problem and take responsibility for it. So that's what I had to do. I had to realize, okay, I have this problem. I have to take responsibility and do something about it. The second step was I had to find a healthy way to release my anger, because in my younger days, I'd get angry, and with anger, violence is generally associated with it. And so you'd get angry to the point where you'd want to get violent. Not necessarily with the person. This could be within an object, like punching a hole in the wall. Or one of the things I did when I was about late teens was I threw my cell phone at the wall and I broke my phone. Breaking your own stuff, and then you'd calm down and realize, oh, that was kind of a dumb thing to do, because now I've got to find the money to now pay for the thing I just broke. So I had to find healthier ways to release my anger when I did get angry. So it's like you transmute the energy. So energy can't be created or destroyed, but you can transmute it or transform it. So you can take that negative, angry energy and transmute it to something more positive. You could use it to have a really good workout in the gym and burn that energy off. You could, one of my go-to things was having a punching bag, because with anger issues, in my experience, it's like you get really angry really quick out of nowhere, and it's like you get this negative energy really quickly built up in your body, and violence seems to be the quickest way to release it. That's why I reckon people get violent when they're angry. It's like to release that negative energy that just comes in out of nowhere, and it's really intense, and people lash out. So I invested in a punching bag, because the first step was taking responsibility for my anger. So I got myself the punching bag. So if I felt like I was angry and wanting to lash out at something, I can go use the punching bag and just punch it out on there. At the same time, I'm releasing, happy chemicals in the brain, because it's almost like having a workout as well. Another thing you could do is just going out in nature and just screaming it out. I've seen videos of people doing that, just screaming like rah, just letting that energy out. You can also take that energy and transmute it into something like music and art. Take Eminem, for example, in his younger days. Very angry person. I'm a huge Eminem fan, so I do reference him in my videos because I think he's a great example for manifesting, his life. But yeah, he took his anger from his childhood and he put that into his music, into writing these rhymes, and he's just blown up with this massive legacy now. Or you could put it into artwork. So find a way to release your anger in a healthy way. Now, the third thing I did was I started meditating. I started meditating, it was about my late 20s. So originally, I thought meditation was stupid because I was ignorant. I didn't understand what meditation was, the purpose of it. And just seeing people sitting there with their eyes closed, I sort of mocked it, just being young and ignorant. I then realized the purpose of meditating, or one of the purposes, and it was basically to train you to be calm in a stressful situation. And that really resonated with me. That appealed to me. I was like, that to me was a dope skill to have, being able to remain calm in a stressful situation. And so that's what got me into meditating. And that was before I even had my proper spiritual awakening as well. So meditation is a great tool because it helps you to calm down and calm the nervous system and everything like that. So I highly recommend meditating. The fourth thing is deep breathing. Our breath is a powerful tool, and again, in my younger days I was ignorant to this. I had no idea, but yes, your breath is an extremely powerful tool. It's our life force, You can't be alive without breathing. And so when we start doing deep breathing in the belly, this calms our nervous system. It switches us out of survival mode, fight or flight, and into the parasympathetic nervous system, which is known as our calm state. So if you're finding yourself getting angry and worked up, and you may be in a public place, you may be at work, start just doing some deep breathing in the belly, and it will switch you into your parasympathetic nervous system, which will calm you down. Now, the fifth step, this was the most powerful for me with overcoming my anger issues, and that was inner work and healing. I had to take a look at my childhood wounds, which caused the anger. I had, abandonment wounds from both of my parents. They both emotionally abandoned me. That's what led me to having anger problems, right? Because I wasn't taught how to express my emotions properly. So I also had a lot of anger and resentment inside, like stored in my body towards my family, towards my parents. So I had to do this inner work and healing, and I had to learn to forgive my parents and let it go. And forgiveness is really important. So forgiveness is how I released the anger and resentment that I was hanging on to. And realize this, forgiveness is for you, it's not for the other person. There are some people that have this negative outlook towards forgiveness, almost like, oh, it's letting people off the hook. No, it's not. It's got nothing to do with the other person. It's so you can get to a place of peace, like inner peace. You let go of that anger and resentment that you're clinging on to. That's what I had to do. So during the inner work and healing I was doing, I forgave my parents. I felt that energy release from my body. I felt that anger and resentment just disappeared. And I felt really good and really light in my chest. And so one of the things was I had to forgive my dad, who I didn't have anything to do with him for over 10 years. And I was really hanging on to this anger and resentment for over 10 years towards him. And when I released that, there was a shift within me, within my being, within my energy, where I went from being someone that was very easily triggered, really short-tempered, so I'd get triggered and I'd be reactive. And then I found myself, after I did this inner work and healing and forgiveness, I found myself in these situations where normally I would feel triggered and I'd feel it in my chest, this build-up of that sort of anger and feeling triggered. I found myself, like that wasn't happening for me in these certain situations, right? I found myself actually feeling really calm, and that anger and wasn't building up and I wasn't feeling triggered. And I'd find myself being calm, and then I was able to observe and then respond instead of being triggered and reactive. So that's why number 5 is probably, it is the most crucial out of all of these 6 ways of healing the anger. You've really got to do the work on yourself, dig deep within yourself to find out what's really causing that anger. Where is it really stemming from? Learning to heal it so you can release it and let it go. When I released it and let it go, that's when I became a calm person that was able to just observe and respond. And it's so much better when you're operating from that place. And the sixth way is to have an identity shift. So as someone that has, had anger problems, you associate that with your identity. So it's like you see yourself as someone that's, I'm short-tempered. It doesn't take much for me to get, set off. I get triggered really easily. I'm just someone that has anger problems. So you want to have this identity shift where you're no longer that person. Your identity is flexible, like a contortionist. You can shape it and mold it however you want, whenever you want, all throughout your life. You can do it whenever you want. Your identity is not something that's set in stone. So see yourself as someone that no longer gets angry anymore. You're not someone that has anger problems. You're not someone that's short-tempered. Have that identity shift into someone new, someone that's more calm, someone that observes and responds instead. I hope you like this video, guys. I just really wanted to put this out there because honestly, it was something that I battled with for years, and it took me a while to realize how to overcome it. But now that I've overcome it, my life's so much better. I'm living in a way more positive reality because of it, because your beliefs and your thoughts and your feelings is what's creating the reality you're in. Because I've shifted, I had that identity shift from someone that was angry, a psycho, getting set off really easily, to someone that's more calm, I'm now operating and living in a different reality that's more positive. So I just hope other people out there will take the time to heal themselves and work with their anger so they can release it as well, because it is so beneficial for us. And also, it's going to keep us more healthy. Getting angry and triggered and worked up really easy isn't good for our heart. So yeah, it'll keep you healthy. So if you got some sort of value out of this video, let me know by hitting that like button or write a comment. If you like this sort of content, then subscribe and hit that bell notification. I hope I see you on the next video. Have an awesome day.